Hi. Right. I was browsing the channel and I saw the thing that they've got for membership, channel membership, and I thought I might as well try it. So you might be seeing the option to join channel membership, and really there's only two things that I can do at the moment. The one, and this is basically just the suggestions on the YouTube setup itself. The first level is giving shout outs to the people, and to be honest, my channel would be so small, and the number of memberships would be so small that I could quite easily do shout outs to all of the members each time, or something along those lines. And the level 2 is a members only video, and I can certainly do 2 members only videos, I'm sure. I mean, I won't even pin it to a particular number, but there will be members only videos, which we can do in a little bit of a different fashion. I'll give that a bit of thought, and you can give it a bit of thought and make suggestions. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a member of a channel where you've got a guy going around the edge of the box looking for what this could possibly be, when it says testers right in your face there, as one of the guys pointed out to me. The level of blindness, man. In my defense, I actually often think that these, when I've seen testers on this, I've thought it was paint advertising. Now, I do find it odd, I must admit. I find it odd that a company like Italeri would rebox, because I looked this one up, a 1964 mold. Now, that's very good for 1964, and you can verify for me if you agree, but that's what I looked up and found. That's a very good molding on a simple kit for 1964. I don't know if you can see the surface detail is what I'm trying to point out, and this light isn't necessarily catching it just at the right. You know, I mean, I think in terms of frog and the very, very old Airfix, I mean, okay, the wing, okay, there's one. Oh, no, that's not. I almost thought I was seeing a problem there, but it's one upper surface and one lower surface. Again, almost being blind. I do find it interesting that they would sort of put into a modern box such an old kit. And then one of you pointed out, I can't remember, sorry, I'm terrible with remembering who said what, that in fact the Matilda is more noteworthy than I initially stated, and I then went and watched some videos on it. And the one noteworthy comment, if you didn't see it on the comments of that video, is that the reason Bovington has Tiger 131 is because of a Matilda shooting around a 2-pounder round at it. This tiny little 2-pounder tank wedging in the turret and causing them to then abandon tank. But then I saw I watched a video, and it's actually, you know, it is somewhat of an average tank, and yet it had some noteworthy service. One of the things is that it's the only tank, this is what they said in the video, I don't know if it's absolutely true, it's the only tank that served from the beginning of the war to the end of the war. The Matilda 2, I assume that would be, or if they were then including actually Matilda 2 and 3 maybe. So a very good 2-pounder. not a fast tank. And anyway, so that, you know, nice little bit of character background for when I build this. Sort of a staple of the British infantry and used by others, I think. I haven't researched much, but you know, not just like sort of nondescript as I originally thought. No, well, I mean, I wasn't being that extreme, but far more important than the Stuart and you know, obviously the Churchill is a far more impressive tank, but the Matilda has got a much longer service career. I still haven't really dug into this one. I just wanted to quickly have a look. That I do like that, you know, there's a lot of models which, you know, they're not a tank, they're not an aeroplane, they're not anything that significant, and yet the actual build, the actual technical pieces, is what really grabs me. You know, wagon wheels, there's a lot of weathering, and there's certainly a lot of scope for putting this into an interesting little setting. Now, a lot of people use them in larger dioramas, but I would like to see if I can do a very small thing. As I said, the horses will sort of be on the side. I'm not going to build it in tow. And some of you have made a couple of comments, and please continue to do so. But I like the look of this. Now, I have got enough German soldier figures that one could do more than just a sort of a little bit of a lifeless diorama without figures around it. You could liven it up. Same with this. The same with this. Yeah, but it's still a bit of a simple dynamic, a very simple story being told in the diorama. And this this wagon, the same thing. Something very simple yet poignant being told in a small diorama, just not much larger than the wagon size. Just being totally different than the usual bikes and cars and aeroplanes and tanks. What I did look through quite well was the sterling, and that is missing a bit more than what was stated. So now I don't know how scarce a number of these models are. This one does need a good clean, by the way. I can see a lot of dirt on it, but it's missing a few more pieces than just the front turret glazing. It's missing the main canopy glazing, and it seems to have a few parts gone, but nothing that'll actually stop it being built as an aeroplane, as a full airframe. And I do have the other one, so I can remake, but it's not going to be an immediate. And what's here is good. The amount of warping is exceptionally minimal. That's barely even noticeable, and the wings do seem fine. So I will give it a more thorough sort of prep and clean up in due course, but it's workable, and I think worthy of a very nice build. Okay, the big event of the week is the model room cleanup and this garage. Now, what happens is I clean up the garage a bit, get busy in the model room, and then a lot of the model room comes here, and then this is undone. So that's sort of the state of this, but big change in the model room to the point that I can actually show you the desk, and we can possibly even do videos. Maybe that's part of what the member videos could be. I've taken out the one table, so I had the two tables. I realized that all I was doing with two tables is cluttering two tables. Given the option of space, I just use up all the space. And one of my specialities is packing out things. Exactly like you sort of see here, but times 1,000. You know, laying out parts, which one does when you're busy with something, except that I'm busy with something else, then something else, then something else. And it turns from 10 to 20 to there's no more space anywhere. And then it goes to packing things on the floor. And another of the specialities is these, and this one is a little bit of a mixed box of scraps, but open trays of parts, models that have been looked at to some degree, you know, I suppose to a certain degree a little bit like this, but even bigger boxes and worse. You know, stuff that is not complete, not in a display cabinet, if such space was even available, but taking up model room space. And I am going to actually try to work on one model at a time. And when I say one, we might mean two, but not more than two. And that means those other boxes are all closed up again, moved to the garage, or put into the shelves in the model room, such that around the desk and actually invisible and hand, you know, I need to work on one model at a time again, which reduces the batch spraying. And I'll just have to deal with that. And maybe we make much faster progress. You know, maybe I've just been slowing myself too much down with the batch spraying and so on. I'll still do the batch spraying to a degree, to a smaller degree, I guess. The desk is completely cleaned up, but I've put on it the things which I think are the most commonly accessed items. And that's taken up 1/3 of the desk space. And I'm busy trying to think whether I can be a little bit better than that. I feel like working on 2/3 of a desk is okay, considering I'm not going to be cluttering it with other stuff. But I'd sort of almost like to be working on about 90% of the space. Just having that white, it's a white desktop that I've got in there. Just that nice clean look, possibly even enhance the building experience compared to what I've been doing to myself for the past number of years. Now I know one or two of you have said a certain amount of clutter is always present. Yes, and I don't think I need to try and get that. That'll automatically always happen. I've still got lots to clean up on the floor of the model room, but it is much, much better. The openness, accessibility and visibility of things, and getting those little containers which I was talking about, and those plastic trays with the compartments. So I've actually now got a lot of them in use. Some things are a little bit weird and awkward because most of it fits into there, and then you've got one large piece that has to be somewhere else. So it's a little bit of a split up of pieces, and I do worry a little bit that when I get to some models, I won't actually find all of the bits that I've put in various bags and boxes and so on. But that's no hassle. We can roll through models, and if I can't find a specific thing, we just do what we can and move on to another one and come back when we actually find the pieces. And I also don't feel like working on one model at a time always needs to end in a completion of that model. For instance, the 1/32 Phantom, which is a quite a bit of a larger task, I would feel it's okay to, while I work on it, I'm working on one model at a time, but I don't need to work on it because that would take quite a lot of months, and I'd like a little bit of variety. But when I stop working on them, then that gets completely packed away. I'm okay with doing that. I know it's some of you like to start and finish one thing that's great. I can do that for smaller things and possibly up to bike level and cars. I don't know if I can do that up to 1/32 Phantom level. So I've put on the workbench the 1/72 Harvard, which has its airframe assembled and is sort of at final assembly and priming and a color scheme and decals, except that I can't remember what color scheme and decals I intended. So that's part of refinding, and I will need to make a little list of what I intended with what. Same with some of the 1/48 Harvards. But wheelie yellow I said was next, and wheelie yellow needs to be next. No, but that won't be on the desk inside there, because that's sort of cardboard and wood and gluing and LEDs and such all. Oh, did you see wheelie yellow had a video within the last week, I think it was, driving at night with all his lights on, and quite interesting that was done just at a time when I was sort of talking about the lights, because now you get a pretty good feel. And one of the things I neglected on my, well, I'm still thinking about it, on the side of the van, the orange ones, which I think are called repeaters of the indicator, but he had them on, and that actually looks very, very good. So it's another 2 orange on each side, so that's another 4 orange beyond the actual indicators, and you just keep them on, they're not flashing or anything. And the inside lights, I think maybe even more than just one light. So I think the lighting is somewhat key to this thing, but that's, you know, there's nothing really difficult about that. It's just getting the lighting in. Although I will say, just got to keep in mind that every different type of LED has a different resistor required with it, and that can affect the final matching onto the circuit, which I will the video that I did previously where I noticed that and saw that was where you can test one LED and it works with a resistor, test another one and it works with a resistor, test another one and it works with a resistor, and it's all the same. So now you just need to, if you wanted to get them all into parallel, and you do that and you connect it to the equivalent single other resistor, and 1 or 2 of the LEDs come on and the third one doesn't. And that is because of the slight differences in current that they draw or voltage. So while independently you can observe them working with the same resistor, that doesn't imply together. This build will have parallel for pretty much everything, and the flasher circuit, I'm still thinking about how I want to handle that, if at all, or just don't even put flashes in and just treat it like he's treated his, where all the LEDs that are present in the vehicle are just switched on, and when you drive it just looks cool. You don't need to actually have a flashing indicator, because to be honest, I mean, it's not like you're going to only put it on when you turn, and when you turn, you're turning for like 1/10 of a second, you know, doing swerving turns. So it's a little bit irrelevant on a high maneuverable vehicle. So I might just leave out the flasher circuit completely, put in all the LEDs, and it'll be quite nice to see. So very happy with that. I do need to work a light. I need to readjust one of the lights in the room. I've got these fluorescent white lights, but now I want to reposition one right over the working desk. The garage space is still in need of a lot of attention and getting rid of a lot of things, so that's going to be a little bit of a work in progress. And I suppose part of that is, you know, just really identifying the models that, much as I think they're a great model, they can't stay. What was the other thing I was going to say? Oh yes, okay. So the way I want to run some of the you could call it a plan out of the builds, but it's more just a mental picture of how to address my various lists of builds. So the bucket list, the Harvard list, because I've got quite a lot of Harvards and they're sort of the main topic, and yet I haven't touched one in as long as this channel has been on. I don't think I've touched a single Harvard. We have got the sort of ad hoc things. I just feel like grabbing a old Airfix, or no matter what it is, just wasn't really part of any list, and that's one of the builds that I want to do. And then the what was the other ones? Oh, the aircraft, because remember I said my bucket list is actually mainly avoiding aircraft, because it's got all of these other interesting things in that I really want to build. And then there was the aircraft specific top 10. So we've got these, and the way I will possibly work it is, you know, a Harvard, a bucket list model, a top 10 aircraft model, and another. I'm not saying I'll always cycle completely through that exactly, but that's sort of the style that I'm looking at, which I think will work. It'll definitely work with the smaller models. A little bit questionable when I hit some of the more complicated models, and especially if I hit a spray job that just knocked the wind out of me and went bad. Something really didn't work, and well, I'm just going to pack that model away for a while and think about it and clear my head on that. So those are the 4 streams that will be approached. So it'll be wheelie yellow, or actually wheelie ambulance, Harvard, and then we can see. But anyway, do give me your ideas for channel membership videos, members only videos. I'm not going to do that, early. I can't remember what they call it exactly, but members see videos earlier, because with the time differences in the world, and it's sort of, I don't even really see the relevance of that sort of thing. There were some things that I didn't really quite even understand about the memberships and that. Anyway, give me your thoughts, and we'll see how things develop, and if because we're sort of a bit under 2,000 subscribers, and let's assume half of them are not really active. They may have subscribed, but they're not really viewing the channel consistently. I don't know what I haven't looked at the stats, but my point is that of the sort of regular viewership, I'm not sure what the percentage. I'd sort of imagine it's maybe 1% that might want to be a channel member. So we'll see. It's a bit new to me, and we'll see how it goes. But I am feeling very, very positive about the new layout. And that's what I also want to do is, now that I've got that extra table space there, I want to take my top 10 aeroplane builds, put them there, and the fact that I've taken them out of the model room, and the bucket list models. And in fact, we can even sort of do some sort of little interesting thing where we choose the next one. Probably not a vote, because again, with the time differences and when people actually watch the video, I don't really see that working reasonably. But we'll do something slightly fun in the manner in which we choose the next model to build. I do need to clean this area up a little bit. This is a bit of a disaster. So during the next days, getting the basic wheelie shape up and running. The model room has got stuff to do, but it's really only bringing stuff out. And that's another thing that's going to be happening in about a week's time. Yes, in about a week's time we are starting a bathroom renovation, which is going to be a rather large disruption, and I'm only hoping that that's for about 4 weeks, that it runs smoothly. It shouldn't disrupt the videos, but it may well disrupt some of my modeling time, although I mean they're not here in the evening or anything, so we'll see. That's been waiting for starting for quite a long time. Okay, I'm off inside to go and think about Wheelie Yellow, Wheelie Ambulance. Happy modeling. Cheers.